Hey Crestview, good morning. The elders met last night and we decided this Sunday, May the 31st, we're going to reopen. And a lot of you may wonder, why are we reopening now? There's all kinds of confusing timelines out there somewhere. And there's a few reasons. One is we've been in touch with the Reno County District Attorney. So we're good to go there with the local front, with the Reno County Health Officer, Nick Baldetti. We've talked to him. We've also been in touch with other churches. There's a lot of churches that are restarting this Sunday because it's Pentecost Sunday. President Trump said about 10 days ago now, or a week ago, that churches were essential and they should reopen. And then even the governor last night issued a statement that her recommendations were not law, but recommendations. And we feel like following CDC guidelines, we're going to be ready to open up. So things are going to be a little different when you come in. So when you walk through the doors, those will be standing wide open for worship at 10:15. You'll come in. We're going to take communion the first week that we meet. And so there's going to be a table set up with little communion cups like this. They have the wafer built into the top and the juice at the bottom. You'll grab enough of these for your family to sit together. So if you have kids in your family maybe that don't take communion yet, you don't need to get them for them, but you need to get them for everybody in your family. There's not going to be anyone coming by to give you those. So you'll grab one of these, however many you need, and then you'll proceed into the worship room where we have everything laid out for social distancing. So as you walk in, I know where most of you normally sit, and so I know you're going to gravitate to the same place you normally sit. And so I can envision who sits in this part of the room, and you'll come in and just kind of get settled in the place that you normally settle in. We're going to have everything that you would need for the morning on your chair. So a lot of times when you come in, we encourage you to get like sermon notes and things like that. And those are going to be in your chairs. So we have that set up here to show you. This is what it'll look like. You'll come into your chair and there will be sermon notes on your chair. You'll have your communion cup and you'll settle in with your family in a row. And so if you normally hang out with your grandparents or with your parents, this is where you'll settle. When you walk in the building, there's not going to be any coffee available like the community coffee. There's not going to be donuts, not going to be a mint jar, so feel free to bring your stuff to come in. And also, there's not going to be any nursery or children's church. So when you come in, plan to be planted with your family for that hour as we do this. So you might bring stuff for your kids to do. You might bring coloring bags or something, whatever you do to keep your kids during the service. And we'll begin the service with some singing. It'll look a lot like we have done online, and we'll still continue to offer those online options. So if you don't feel comfortable coming on Sunday, we understand that, and that's all good. And I probably need to say a word too about masks. So since we're following CDC recommendations, we fully expect that there will be some people in the room who wear masks. Some of you may not feel like that's important to you, and we're going to respect that. But it's going to be diverse. It's going to look diverse in our congregation. There's going to be some people with masks on, some that don't, and it's just a great way we can show the love of Christ to one another, because that's ultimately what this is about. When we gather together, it's showing Him and making Him great. So this Sunday we'll be back in our Psalms of Ascent series. I'll be back preaching. We're glad to have you back with us and look forward to seeing you at 10:15 Sunday morning on May the 31st.